On October 28th of last year, Mark Zuckerberg announced that Facebook was rebranding by changing its name to Meta in accord with their plans to usher in a new way for people to experience the internet called the Metaverse.
We've gone from desktop to web to phones, from text to photos to video, but this isn't the end of the line. The next platform and medium will be even more immersive, an embodied internet where you're in the experience, not just looking at it. And we call this the Metaverse.
The Metaverse, according to Zuckerberg, is an embodied internet where you're in the experience, not just looking at the experience. It shifts our interaction with the internet from a 2D to a 3D space. Listen to what he has to say we'll be able to do in this new 3D world.
And you're gonna be able to do almost anything you can imagine. Get together with friends and family, work, learn, play, shop, create, as well as entirely new categories that don't really fit how we think about computers or phones today.
So essentially, everything that we do in real life, we'll be able to do in our new virtual life. Interesting. Let us consider for a moment how smart devices and social media has caused a steep decline in personal interactions. Families don't sit together at the dinner table and talk about their day as they once did because everyone is either in front of a television or a cell phone. Even when we go out to restaurants for lunch or dinner, a quick glance around the room and you're likely to see more people than not looking at their cell phones. This got so bad that back in 2017, some restaurants began offering meal discounts to people who were willing to check their phones at the door. Whether you're waiting in line at the grocery store, walking down the street, or driving, an alarming number of people stay glued to their cell phones and have no clue as to what's going on around them. It's been this way for several years. And now we have tech companies like Facebook or Meta wanting to take our cell phone and essentially prop it directly in front of our eyes via a VR headset so that we can have a 3D immersive experience with the internet.
It's disappearing.
This is amazing.
What do you think this is going to do to our already declining value of authentic personal interactions? Imagine if your life became like that in the movie Ready Player One.
There's nowhere left to go. Nowhere. Except the oasis.
If you spent the majority of your day, every day inside the metaverse, could you develop and maintain meaningful relationships within that space? True enough, in the metaverse, you can socially interact with people in a variety of settings. But how many of these people would you actually know in real life? Chances are that the majority of the people we'd be interacting with will be complete strangers. And in that case, the ability to maintain meaningful relationships becomes an issue. You don't have to be a psychologist or any kind of scientist to know that as humans, we are relational beings. We thrive off meaningful relationships within our families, communities, and in the workplace. In fact, when we deprive ourselves of meaningful human interaction, research shows that we suffer from mental and physical defects. In an article published in the PubMed Central, which is a scientific literature database, researchers say that, indeed, Feeling insufficiently connected to others is associated with profound and lasting negative consequences on physical and mental health, even leading to increased mortality. Current efforts to contain the spread of COVID 19 have required sudden and commonly mandated physical distancing, removing many regular sources of social connection from people's lives. Such measures are likely to have a substantial effect, not only on the economy and society, but also on individuals' mental health and well being through factors such as reduced contact with other people. It is possible that the effects of such deprivation of social contact will extend beyond the period of physical distancing and might affect the population for years to come. Could this shift to virtual reality, which, by the way, is big business for not only Meta, but also for Microsoft, could this shift have anything to do with the isolation we've already been forced to live with? Could we have been conditioned for this alternate universe? I mean, think about it. During lockdowns all around the world, people turned to their internet via their computers, phones, and TVs as alternatives to reality. While the metaverse may certainly provide increased functionality that improves digital communication and productivity, what will it do to us? Take a listen at what mega YouTuber Mr. Who's the Boss has to say about this.
You'll need it because, relative to your life in the metaverse, your real life will kind of suck. Can you imagine every night taking off your headset and going from this handsome prince who's just won the approval of your entire clan on an intergalactic voyage to then seeing your actual self in the mirror and remembering that you're not that person, that you don't have the perfect face and body, and that you can never do the things that your avatar can do? The incentive won't be to start looking after our real selves because we can never get there. It'll be to actually put our headsets back on and spend even more time in the metaverse.
Exactly. We could very easily lose ourselves in all of this. Our identities could subtly be shifted from our real selves to our virtual selves. Think about how people suffer from this identity crisis already. From TV shows like Catfish and from some of our own personal experiences, we know that while interacting online, people create facades about their life. They paint themselves to be extraordinarily attractive, happy, wealthy, or in love to the extent that others envy them or desire to live like them, when in reality, some of these people couldn't be more broke, busted, and disgusted. So the critical question is, why should you beware of the metaverse? Well, because this alternate reality could dramatically worsen an already increasing identity crisis that people are suffering from due to their need to be liked or popular. This 3D world could completely remove our kids from reality, who, by the way, are already suffering harmful effects from social media, as indicated in several key research studies. Not to mention the tons of sensitive data we'd be exchanging with Meta to interact in this world. Zuckerberg has not proven himself trustworthy in the least when it comes to privacy and user data, and yet in the metaverse, we would be offering up even more of our personal data that would also be increasingly sensitive.
We're talking about data collection on the level of measuring your brain activity. You wouldn't even give your family that kind of access, but this is a future where you could be giving it to Meta.
We also must seriously consider how this virtual world will affect our mental and physical health. Already, there is a ton of research showing that people are suffering from all sorts of mental and physical conditions such as anxiety and obesity, because they're spending too much time on their devices. And please don't get me wrong, I am not anti technology. I use and enjoy technology just as much as the next millennial. However, I believe that just like with anything else, we have to be mindful of moderation. We cannot allow ourselves to become addicted to these things. Addiction is fundamentally bad, no matter the source of the addiction. Just because you're not addicted to alcohol or crack doesn't mean you're not an addict if you can't put your phone down for more than 10 minutes a day. All I'm saying is let us use the technology and not have it use us. Let us pay more attention to what's going on around us and not get so caught up in the rat race. Remember that as humans, we are relational beings and thrive off meaningful relationships. We shouldn't allow billion-dollar tech companies to decide how we best connect with people any more than we should allow the government to regulate our bodies. You are in charge of this amazing gift we call life. The quality of your life is up to you and you alone. And you should be free to live it however you please, regardless of popular trends. Again, let us use the technology and not have it use us. Before I go, I would love to know what you think about the metaverse. Are you excited about it? Not excited about it? How do you think it's going to evolve the way we communicate with each other? Please take a moment and let me know down in the comments. Also, if you have enjoyed the content of this video, I would respectfully ask that you give it a thumbs up, that you also subscribe and share this story with others. I really do appreciate your engagement and support. Until next time, I'm Javon Harris, and you've been watching Seek. I pray that you have a blessed rest of your week and that it's filled with joy, peace, and most of all, love. Thank you for watching.